What's up, Foundation? What's up, YouTube? Man, it's me, your big partner, Cartoon 53, the Village Storyteller. Man, I'm back again. Man, I missed a couple of days, but now I'm trying to make up for it, though. I'm back, and y'all know what's up. Man, it's story time. But now, that's one thing you're going to always know about the Village Storyteller channel. It's always story time. If you want the other stuff, man, you got to go over there to the Cartoon 53 channel. But on this one, you're going to always get the stories. You're going to always have something that you can ride to work with, that you can listen to on break. You can ride home from work. Or if you're just going through the house that day cleaning, something that you can listen to. Anyway, with no further ado, man, let's get right into it, man. Man, let's get right into it, man. This story here takes place in a real small town. Real small town in Nebraska, man. Small town. You know what I'm saying? Didn't have a whole lot of people in it, but now in this town, everybody got along. You know, in this town, football, it's one of them little country spots, man, where football is real big. Everybody like to wave at each other when they pass by, say, excuse me, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, and open up the doors for the ladies. Little small town, man, little small town. But now, like every small town or like every large town, you got your good people and you got your bad people, man. You got your kids that don't really want to get into no trouble, and you got your bullies. There will at least be one bully everywhere you go. You know, at least one. Now, usually it's a whole lot of them. That's why I say, but at least one. At least one. That's what this story here kind of revolves around. Man, in the little small town, they had one cat, man. He was big. He was born big. You know, he was in the 11th grade. He was bigger than everybody at the school. It had dawned on him that because of his size, a lot of the kids were scared of him. Even a lot of the teachers were scared of him. Didn't want nothing to do with him. He was bigger than his pops. You know, his father would try to talk to him, and it seemed like it didn't do no good till he got to the point to where, you know, one day him and his father fell out, and they got into a fight. He called his daddy. You know what I'm saying? Dad, Pop, come on down them stairs. I'm going to give you the business. I'm going to give you what you need. I'm going to give you what you're looking for, because I'm sick of you. Now, here it is. Of course, his father was going... Now, of course, his father was going to step up to the challenge, because he wasn't finna have his own son talk to him like that. And he told his son, this ain't what you want. I'm going to give it to you in a real way. But, of course, he knew in the back of his mind that he probably couldn't whoop his son. He never wanted it to get to this. He was afraid of this day right here was going to come, because he knew once that they had a physical altercation and he lost, that his son would never ever have respect for him. The small amount of respect that his son had for him, he was trying to hold on to it. But he knew this day was coming. And the day finally came. They got out there in the front yard, and they went to mixing it up. The mother was on the porch. She hollered, stop. Stop, Bubba, stop. Stop, Bubba. Stop, Bubba. Bubba was the son's name. You know, it was a nickname that he got as a child because he was a big child, heavy child. And so they named him Bubba. And his mother was hollering, Bubba, stop. And Bubba and his father was out there. They was mixing it up. Bubba put them hands on his father simply because he was so much bigger than him. Yeah, simply because he was so much bigger than him, he put them hands on his daddy. Whooped his daddy to the floor. I mean, well, to the floor, but yeah, they was, you know, on the ground. And his mother ran out there and was hitting him. Her little fist couldn't do nothing. Bubba was a big kid at 17 years old. Man, Bubba stood about 6'6", right at 300 pounds. Big kid, you know. So, you know, they couldn't do nothing with him. When Bubba looked up, she told him, get out of here, get away from him. Now, of course, even at school, Bubba was the talk of the little town, man. You know, when you were living in a small town and you a big fish in a small pond, it tends to give you the big head. It tends to make you feel like something. So, in this small pond, this small town, Bubba was a big fish. Okay, cool. Bubba played on the high school football team. Of course, he had to play on the high school football team because he was big. You know what I'm saying? And they had a pretty good team, and Bubba would do his due diligence. Man, but Bubba had a real bad habit of picking on kids at school. When the teachers would try to talk to him, he would give them word for word. He was known for beating up his teachers if they got in his way. He was known for beating up everybody at the school if they got in his way. Nobody wanted to deal with Bubba. And with it being a small town the way it is, everybody knew each other's business. Everybody knew each other. The police knew Bubba. Now, of course, they would try to deal with Bubba, talk to him, and Bubba would even try to square off and fight them sometimes. Now, they didn't really want to hurt Bubba, lock Bubba up because he was his mother's only son or only child. And his mother was the darling sweetheart of the town. Everybody in the town, you know what I'm saying, loved his mother, man. She was nice. She would take care of everybody, you know what I'm saying, give the shirt off her back if she could. And she had helped a lot of people in that town. And they just didn't understand why Bubba was so mean. Why was he so mean? I mean, it'd get to the point to where he would walk in the store and get stuff and tell people, I'll pay you back, and walk out. And they were scared to confront Bubba because they knew Bubba was quick to fight. They knew he was quick to fight. They knew Bubba would put them hands on him, and they didn't want nothing to do with Bubba. They didn't. They didn't, man. It was Bubba went to. Okay, I thought I seen something. But anyway, man, Bubba went to the local skating ring one night, and the kids were skating, and Bubba didn't want to skate. He didn't care nothing about no skating. But he stood right on the edge as they kind of skated past the edge, and Bubba stuck his foot out, pop, and tripped the guy because the guy was getting a little attention from skating. And the girls was oohing and eyeing, and Bubba, that just didn't, sit well with Bubba, him being jealous-hearted. He wanted all the attention on him. He went over there and stuck his foot out and tripped the guy. The guy fell and hurt his arm. Bubba laughed about it. The guy had two friends with him. And they was like, Bubba, you're wrong. And woo-woo. And they was like, Bubba was like, what you gonna do about it? Let's step outside. They was country as an ear of corn. Bubba was a white guy. This is a white town. And he told him, what you gonna do about it, dude? Let's step outside. I'll kick all three of your butts. And they knew Bubba could do it. Man, so everybody in the town was being subjected to Bubba's shenanigans for years. For years, man. Bubba was like Debo all Friday. He was taking kids' bikes, riding them, just doing all type of stuff, man. And he was getting worse and worse as he went. As the older he got, the bigger he got. And the bigger he got, the more bully he got. Nobody really knew if Bubba was just being a bully because he was bigger than everyone, or if he was just stomped down plain mean. Because there was nobody in town that really wanted to really challenge Bubba. He was a bruiser. You know what I'm saying? He was a bruiser. He was beating up everybody that came into his path. That was just Bubba, y'all. It was one little female named Sally. Bubba liked her. She didn't want nothing to do with Bubba. Nothing to do with Bubba. One day Bubba came to school and tried to talk to her about something, and she was just like, man, leave me alone, Bubba. I don't want to talk to you. And walked away. That infuriated him. He didn't know what to do about it. He was so mad. He ran up behind her and grabbed her by the hair and yanked her ponytail. Now, them little white girls got that long hair and them long ponytails, and so Bubba ran up and grabbed it and yanked it. Oh, her head jerked back. She started crying. What are you doing, Bubba? Don't do that. You hurt my hair. So Bubba, knew everybody was looking, which they were because they were in school. And so he made a big scene. He laughed about it. Ah, ha, ha, ha. Yeah, that's right. Ah, ha, ha. But it was simply because she did not want to talk to him. She didn't want to talk to him. She didn't want nothing to do with him. So he pulled her hair and made her cry, and it was like that made him feel good. He figured, yeah, he had did a good deed. Friday night, that Friday came, they had a football game against the next town over. Okay, and they was out there, and they were pretty much slated to beat these guys. You know what I'm saying? Bubba was on the defense, and he couldn't be stopped from getting through he'd run through somebody's offensive line. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing he would do. He played that football. So they playing, everybody's out because the little town that Bubba was from, they doing pretty good. They trying to shoot for the state championship this year. So everybody's out watching the game. It was a play right before halftime. The last play right before halftime, the opposing team had the ball, and it was a running play. Dude come right up the middle. And he's coming right toward Bubba. When the dude come up the middle, he jerked left, but Bubba grabbed him, and Bubba rolled him to the ground. They hit the ground, boom. When they hit the ground, all Bubba's team, they ran over there and dove on him too. They like dog pile on the rabbit. The other team jumped on everybody. It was so many people on the ground for some reason. Oh, excuse me. I was thinking about something. But anyway, it was so many people on the ground that you couldn't even see nobody. You couldn't even see the people that was at the bottom of the pile. So anyway, when the guys start getting up, boom. Bubba wasn't there. He wasn't there. But in Bubba's mind, he wasn't there. In Bubba's mind, he wasn't there. And I'm going to tell you why Bubba didn't think he was there. In real time, Bubba was there. But in Bubba's mind, he wasn't there no more. Because when Bubba opened his eyes, he wasn't there. He didn't even have on football clothes no more. When Bubba got up, Bubba was in like a dungeon. A caged off dungeon. With cells. With dirt floor and big boulder brick walls. And Bubba couldn't understand where he was at. He looking around. Hey, where am I? No answer. Okay. After about an hour went by, a little short guy, looked like a midget, but he was purple. He came to Bubba's cell and asked Bubba, "You ready?" Bubba like, "What do you mean, am I ready? Are you ready?" Bubba like asked him, "Where am I, man? Who are you? Ready for what?" "It's your turn." That's what the midget told you. Your turn. So Bubba like, "My turn for what?" He said, "You gonna fight or what?" Bubba like, "Fight? Fight who? Where am I? What is this place?" The midget whistled. Man, two of the biggest people Bubba had ever seen in his life, but they had on full metal gear with long poles with sharp knives on the end of them. And when they stepped up, they looked at the midget. The midget opened up the gate, and he told Bubba to step out. Bubba stepped out. They pointed that way. Bubba like, "Man, what?" They like kind of jigged him with the little stick. Oh, Bubba knew to walk. They walked Bubba out into a big arena. It was thousands of people around watching. Thousands of people. They cheering, they hollering, "Hey, hey." It was a gladiator pit. Gladiator pit. Boom. Bubba went out there. Bubba like, "What am I supposed to do?" The midget told him, "Fight," and closed the big gate in back of him. So Bubba looking around like, man, what the? From across the pit, a gate opened up. And a guy came out the gate. Regular sized guy. Bubba like, "What?" So a voice spoke over the crowd and announced them to them two to fight. So the dude started running. He started running toward Bubba. Bubba looking at him come. So when he ran up on him, the dude leaped in the air and kicked Bubba in the face. Bam! Oh. Now I don't care where you at. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care what you're about. You know what this is about. You know what this means. Bubba knew, boy, you better tear tail right here or get your tail toe. Man, when Bubba stumbled back, he shook his head and he charged the dude. When he charged him, he tried to grab him. The dude ducked and kicked him. Bang! Hit him in the leg. His leg buckled. When his leg buckled, he kind of went down to his knees. The dude ran out. Bang! Kicked him in the side of the head. Bubba fell to the side and rolled in the dirt. And dude commenced, let Bubba get back up. But this dude commenced to whooping Bubba's behind. He whooped Bubba to the floor. Boom. They let him, he backed up off of him. They came, got Bubba, they took Bubba back to that little dungeon hole. And they fed him some food that he didn't know what it was. This went on for days and days and days. Each time they come get Bubba, Bubba knew that it was time to fight. He went out there the next day. It was another dude, kind of small dude again. Bubba figured he knew what to do. Now I better get this dude. Bubba immediately tried to start putting work in. This dude whooped Bubba from one end of the arena to the next. Blacked both his eyes, kicked his teeth out of his mouth, knocked him out. They drug Bubba back to the cell. The next day, the show commenced again. They sent Bubba out there again. This time it was a girl. Bubba knew he was going to get him a win now. He was so mad about losing to all these people, these little people, he cared nothing about whooping this girl. And he went to whoop her. Needless to say, she did him like Chung Lee did somebody on Street Fighter. She whooped the fingernails off Bubba. He couldn't understand it. Knocked him out. They drove Bubba back to the cell again. This went on for approximately 10 days to Bubba's recollection. He kept getting whooped. He kept getting stoned. He couldn't do nothing. And what he couldn't understand is why was he losing to these little bitty people, these little regular sized people that when he was in his town, he pushed them around, whooped them, and did whatever he wanted to do to them. But now for some reason, wherever this is, whatever world he was in at this time, he could not whoop these people. And he just couldn't understand it. Couldn't understand it. The midget came to Bubba one day, and Bubba thought he was going to fight. And the dude told him, he said, you got a fight coming. He said, it won't be today, it'll be tomorrow. But the dude told Bubba, this fight is a death match. Bubba like, what do you mean a death match? The loser of this fight's going to die. Now this scared Bubba to pieces because he know for a fact he has lost 10 straight fights to these people. Everybody that they matched him up with, he was bigger than them, and they still whooped him to the floor. And now here it is. This man's telling him he got a death match coming. He didn't want to do it. He didn't want to do it. He did not want to do this. He was scared. Now Bubba was really, really scared. So boom. The midget left. Another person came. A little small person. But Bubba had never seen this person before. It was a guy. And the dude stopped at Bubba's cell. And Bubba looked up at him. And the guy said, you gonna die tomorrow, huh? Bubba like, what? He said, you can't win. You gonna die. Bubba like, man, I don't want to die, man. What do you mean? What's going on? Why am I in a death match all of a sudden? And the guy told him, he said, you should have thought about that when you was bullying everybody in the town you was from. You should have thought about that when you was disrespecting your father and beat him up in the front yard. You should have thought about that when you was bullying your teachers. You should have thought about that when you was pulling the girl's hair at school and making everybody in the town miserable because you were bigger and badder and tougher than them. You should have thought about that then. He said, it's too late now. He said, tomorrow you're out of here. Dude turned around and walked off. Oh, man, Bubba was scared. Bubba was scared, man. Bubba fell to his knees, and he started praying. He was like, God, please help me. I don't know where I'm at. I don't know what's going on. He said, I don't know if this is the twilight zone that I've been in for the last 10 days. He said, but I need your help. He said, tomorrow I'm going to die. He said, I need your help, God. I don't want to fight this guy. I don't want to fight no more. I don't want to die. He said, I'm sorry if you give me one more chance. I won't disrespect my father. I won't disrespect my mother. I won't be mean to people at school. I won't bully them because I'm bigger than them. I won't do none of this, God. I just need your help. Please get me back home to my family. He went to sleep praying that prayer. He prayed all night. He went to sleep. He fell asleep praying that prayer. Praying that prayer. The next day came. They fed him the mush that he had been eating for breakfast. And they told him, be prepared an hour. And within an hour, he has to fight. Oh, he was scared. That hour came. They came, got him as they usually did. They took him out to the arena. They pushed him out the gate and slammed it. As usual, average sized dude came through the gate. This guy couldn't have been no more than about 5'10", maybe 160 pounds. Versus his 6'6", 300 pounds. But he knew in his heart that it didn't make no difference what he looked like. Everybody that he fought, girl or man or woman, was this guy's size, and they'd all beat him to the floor. The guy ran at him, but Bubba knew, man, you better fight because I'm fighting for my life. The guy put him on it. He put it on Bubba, tore him up. Bang, 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 bang. Was hitting Bubba from all different angles, kicking him from all different angles, and Bubba was scared. Dude caught Bubba in the chin with a roundhouse kick and dropped Bubba. He went to sleep. When Bubba woke up, he was on the football field. And he was just getting up off the ground. One of his team players reached down for him. Get up, Bubba. And he looked at the guy's hand. What? Like, get up, Bubba, come on. Bubba got up. He stumbled to the sideline. The coach went up to him and like, Bubba, what's wrong? He was like, Coach, I don't know. He said, can't go back in the game, no. What? Bubba just walked off and went to the locker room. They won the game. Bubba put his clothes on and went home. That night, he apologized to his mother. He apologized to his father. The next day when he came to school, he was a changed person. He apologized to each and everybody in the town that he knew he had done something wrong to. But the whole town seen that Bubba wasn't the same no more. He was a changed person. Even the girl that he pulled her hair, she seen he was changed. They just didn't know what Bubba had went through. They didn't know. But it changed. It was a life-changing experience. Bubba never tried to bully no one again. No one again. He changed his life. He kept to himself what he had been through, though, because he knew wasn't nobody believe him. So he kept it to himself, but he changed himself. Bubba went on to have a great football career. He went on to the NFL and was one of the best players, one of the best defensive players that the NFL has seen in many, many years. He gave to charities and he treated everybody fairly and nice. Whatever that was, Bubba said in his mind, he didn't ever want to go through it again. And he changed his ways to make sure he never would go through that again. It's me, y'all, your big partner. Peace.